Are you tired of feeling overwhelmed by life's challenges? What if I told you that an ancient philosophy could help you turn obstacles into opportunities? Find inner peace and thrive in the face of adversity. From losing your keys to navigating a major life crisis, Stoicism offers timeless tools to help you stay calm, focused, and resilient. In this video, we'll explore how to embrace hardship like a Stoic, uncover the 11 Stoic Superpowers, and learn from real-life heroes who've used these principles to overcome unimaginable challenges. Ready to transform the way you face life's storms? Let's dive in. Number 1. Accepting difficulty. Let's now explore the central idea of our discussion: accepting adversity as a Stoic. Why would a rational person decide to welcome adversity? It may appear contradictory at first. Why voluntarily confront hardship when we may find solace instead? However, the Stoics realize something important. Adversity is not the enemy. It is actually one of the best instructors in life. Consider adversity as a sculptor. Only the fundamental beauty of who we are remains when it cuts away the excess, the worries, the uncertainties, and the diversions. No matter how tough it is, every obstacle we encounter has the capacity to strengthen, enlighten, and fortify us. The Stoics held the view that adversity should be welcomed rather than avoided. Why? Because we find our genuine strength in the face of adversity. Feeling competent and confident is simple when things are going smoothly. However, we really discover our true selves during difficult times when we are tested to the maximum. We must dig deep, face our fears, and overcome our circumstances when we are faced with hardship. It teaches us the importance of resilience, patience, and perseverance. Consider a marathon training athlete as an example. They don't just put comfort first. They voluntarily decide to push themselves, put up with discomfort, and keep going until they're exhausted. Why? Because they understand that training's difficulty is what will make them more capable, stronger, and quicker. They realize that enduring mile after mile of suffering is an investment in their future prosperity. Growth would not be possible without the battle. There wouldn't be any advancement without the suffering. Life is no exception to this rule. We have an option when we encounter difficulties such as a challenging job, a tense relationship, or a personal bereavement. We have two options. We may accept adversity as a chance for personal development, or we can fight it and gripe about how unjust life is. Every challenge, every setback is an opportunity to practice virtue, according to the Stoics. It's an opportunity to develop bravery, endurance, and self-control. It's an opportunity to grow into our greatest selves. Think about Marcus Aurelius' statement: "The obstacle to action promotes action." This serves as a potent reminder that adversity is not a barrier, but rather the journey itself. What stands in the way becomes the way. The difficulties we encounter are supposed to mold us, not to shatter us. We can use adversity as a tool for personal growth when we accept it. We come to view every challenge as a chance to develop, learn, and get stronger. However, accepting adversity does not imply that we must relish it. It doesn't mean we act as though suffering or failure aren't real. It simply means that we decide to confront it head-on, bravely and resolutely. Given that growth, insight, and a better understanding of ourselves can be found on the other side of adversity, we decide to find the value in the battle. Number 2, Stoicism and peace within. Embracing adversity like a Stoic results in inner calm, which is profound and transforming. However, what is inner peace exactly, and how may Stoicism assist us in achieving it? Inner peace is the capacity to maintain composure, focus, and grounding even when life throws you a curveball. It is not the absence of obstacles or problems. It's a profound sense of peace that results from knowing you have the fortitude and discernment to face whatever challenge life presents. The Stoics held that leading a moral life is the path to true happiness and contentment, rather than relying on material possessions, celebrity, or luxury. For the Stoics, virtue was the ability to live with self-control, intelligence, courage, and justice. When we live according to these values, we develop a sense of fulfillment and purpose that nothing outside of ourselves can take away. This is the cornerstone of inner tranquility. Consider this: you will always be at the mercy of circumstances if your happiness is dependent on factors that are beyond your control, such as the opinions of others, the status of the economy, or even the weather. However, nothing can disturb your inner tranquility if your happiness originates from within. From leading a life of moral rectitude and virtue, you develop the ability to endure even the strongest winds, much like a tree with deep roots. A crucial step in this process is accepting adversity. We demonstrate to ourselves that we are stronger than we initially believed when we bravely and resolutely face difficulties. We discover that we can be at peace even if things don't go as planned. Actually, we frequently find our true strength and the inner resources we need to succeed through adversity. As the philosopher King Marcus Aurelius so eloquently stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." You will discover strength if you realize this. This is the core of Stoic inner calm. It's the knowledge that although we have no control over our circumstances, we do have influence over how we react to them, and we establish a sense of tranquility that no outside incident can disturb when we react with discernment, bravery, and virtue. You can't get inner serenity once and then maintain it forever. It is a way of life, a daily dedication to leading an honest and purposeful life. It involves making the decision to face life's obstacles with dignity and fortitude, understanding that each one presents a chance to become more resilient and wiser. You're not just surviving life's storms when you embrace hardship like a Stoic, you're thriving despite them. You're building a life of meaning, purpose, and inner peace that no external circumstance can take away. And that ultimately is the greatest gift Stoicism has to offer. So the next time you face a challenge, remember, hardship is not the enemy of peace, it's the path to it. By embracing difficulties with courage and resilience, you'll discover a deeper, more enduring sense of calm that will carry you through life's ups and downs. That's the force of Stoicism. That's the route to inner peace. Number 3. The 4 virtues of Stoicism. Stoicism is built on 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Let's break these down and see how they might help us embrace suffering. Knowledge. The capacity to distinguish between good, bad, and indifferent is wisdom. Wisdom enables us to make wise choices when faced with adversity. For instance, wisdom enables you to recognize the chances that lie within a setback, such as the opportunity to launch a business or pursue a different professional path if you lose your job. Bravery. The ability to act in spite of dread is what defines courage, not the absence of fear. Courage enables us to behave bravely in the face of difficulty. Imagine a soldier in combat. They have the strength to fight because they choose to behave boldly in spite of their fear, not because they aren't terrified. Fairness. Justice is about moral virtue and fairness. Justice serves as a reminder to uphold our integrity and treat people equally when we are facing difficulty. For example, justice guarantees that even during difficult circumstances, you treat your employees fairly and kindly if you are a business owner experiencing financial difficulties. Temperance. Moderation and self-control are key components of temperance. Temperance keeps us centered and helps us steer clear of extremes when faced with difficulties. It's about maintaining composure in the face of difficulty. When you encounter a negative event in your life, such as the loss of a love engagement, temperance encourages you to face the situation with grace. While it may be easy to respond angrily or wallow in misery, temperance advocates taking a measured, balanced response. Number 4. Active Stoicism. Let's look at 2 amazing examples of Stoicism in action to see how its teachings can help us face even the most difficult challenges with courage, resilience, and grace. Stoicism is not just a philosophy to be studied, it is a way of life to be lived. Throughout history, innumerable people have used Stoic principles to navigate unthinkable hardships, demonstrating the philosophy's timeless power. From slavery to Stoic mastery, Epictetus. Epictetus is one of the most inspirational figures in Stoic philosophy. Born into slavery in the Roman Empire, he endured great suffering from a young age, became physically disabled, likely as a result of abuse or neglect, and lived in a society that deprived him of his freedom and dignity. He went on to become one of history's greatest teachers. Even so, Epictetus decided to concentrate on what he could control, his character and his mind. Under the tutelage of another Stoic teacher, Musonius Rufus, he studied Stoic philosophy and eventually won his freedom. But it was his attitude, not his situation, that really freed him. For Epictetus, true freedom came from mastering his thoughts and emotions, refusing to let external circumstances dictate his inner peace. His famous words, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters," encapsulate the essence of Stoicism. Epictetus taught that although we cannot control external events, we can control how we respond to them. Epictetus didn't just teach Stoicism, he lived it. His life is a testament to the power of focusing on what we can control and finding freedom within ourselves, no matter how dire the external situation may seem. Imagine the strength it took for a former slave, living with physical disabilities, to rise above his circumstances and become a beacon of wisdom for generations to come. A Stoic in the face of war, James Stockdale. Another remarkable example of Stoicism in action can be found in the 20th century, when U.S. Navy Admiral and fighter pilot James Stockdale was captured as a prisoner of war after his plane was shot down during the Vietnam War. For almost 8 years, Stockdale suffered unspeakable agony, including torture, isolation, and ongoing uncertainty about his future. But because of the Stoic principles he had studied, Stockdale not only survived but flourished, and he later attributed his survival to the teachings of Epictetus, whom he had studied under at Stanford University years before, one of whose lessons, Stockdale recalled, became his compass. You can always control your mind even when you can't control your circumstances. Stockdale refused to allow his captors to break his spirit, retaining his dignity and fortitude despite cruel treatment. He later wrote that Stoicism gave him the mental fortitude to endure the unendurable, to find meaning in suffering, and to emerge from the experience with his integrity intact. During the darkest moments of his captivity, Stockdale concentrated on what he could control: his thoughts, his attitude, and his sense of purpose. Whether you're a former slave, a prisoner of war, or someone dealing with the day-to-day hardships of contemporary life, Stoicism provides a route to inner strength and resilience. Stockdale's story serves as a potent reminder that Stoicism is more than just a theoretical philosophy. It's a useful toolkit for overcoming life's most formidable obstacles. The tales of Epictetus and James Stockdale serve as a reminder that Stoicism is more than just a philosophy. It is a way of life, a set of tools for overcoming adversity, developing fortitude, and finding serenity in the midst of chaos. Whether you are dealing with a personal crisis, a career setback, or just life's daily challenges, Stoicism provides a route to inner strength, wisdom, and freedom. Number 5. Stoic heroes in real life. Let's take a closer look at a real-life hero who embodied Stoic principles in the face of immense hardship: Nelson Mandela. His story serves as a powerful reminder of how Stoicism can help us navigate even the darkest moments of life. Stoicism is not just a philosophy found in ancient texts. It is a living, breathing way of life that has inspired countless individuals to face unimaginable challenges with courage, resilience, and dignity. Nelson Mandela, unflappable despite injustice. An example of Stoic resilience in the modern era is Nelson Mandela, the former president of South Africa and an anti-apartheid revolutionary. Despite being imprisoned for 27 years in harsh conditions for his efforts to combat racial inequality, Mandela remained unbroken, and his dedication to justice unwavering. Mandela's demonstrations of Stoicism: acceptance of reality. Mandela accepted his situation and concentrated on the things he could control, such as his attitude, his deeds, and his dedication to his cause, rather than wasting energy complaining about the unfairness of his incarceration. Concentrate on what he could control. Mandela used his prison cell into a classroom, teaching himself and others about politics, history, and human rights while he was incarcerated. He also used his time to study, think, and develop relationships with other prisoners and even some of his captors. Resilience and forgiveness. Mandela's ability to forgive his oppressors and work toward reconciliation after his release is a testament to his Stoic mindset. He understood that holding on to anger and resentment would only harm himself and his mission. Mandela's life teaches us that Stoicism isn't about denying pain or injustice. It's about finding strength and purpose in the face of it. As he famously said, "The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall." Number 6. Practical Stoicism. Stoicism isn't just a philosophy to ponder. It's a way of life, a toolkit for navigating the challenges we face every day. Let's break it down into practical steps you can apply right now to embrace hardship and grow stronger through it. Accept reality. The first step in practicing Stoicism is to accept reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. Life is unpredictable, and hardship is inevitable. Whether it's a difficult diagnosis, a financial setback, a broken relationship, or a personal loss, the sooner we accept the reality of the situation, the sooner we can begin to move forward. Denial and resistance only prolong the pain. When we fight against what is, we waste precious energy that could be used to address the problem. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or resigning yourself to defeat. It means acknowledging the truth of the situation so you can decide how to respond. Think of it like this. If you're caught in a storm, you can't stop the rain by wishing it away. But you can grab an umbrella, find shelter, or prepare for the next steps. Acceptance is the foundation of Stoic practice. It allows us to see clearly, think rationally, and act decisively. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." By accepting reality, we reclaim our power and focus on what we can control. Choose your response. Once you've accepted reality, the next step is to choose your response. This is where Stoicism truly shines. While we can't always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. Imagine you're the captain of a ship caught in a storm. You can't control the wind or the waves, but you can control the rudder. You can steer the ship, adjust the sails, and navigate through the chaos. In the same way, when life throws hardship your way, you have the power to choose how you respond. A Stoic would respond with wisdom, courage, and virtue. Instead of reacting with fear, anger, or despair, they would pause, reflect, and choose a response that aligns with their values. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions. Stoicism isn't about being emotionless, it's about not letting emotions control you. For example, if you lose your job, you might feel fear or frustration. A Stoic would acknowledge those emotions, but then focus on what they can do next. Updating their resume, networking, or exploring new opportunities. By choosing a thoughtful, intentional response, you take control of the situation and turn adversity into action. As Epictetus stated, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When you pick your answer, you recover your power and take the first step toward overcoming hardship. Use hardship as a teacher. Every adversity, no matter how terrible, has a lesson to teach. The Stoics thought that obstacles are opportunities for progress. They compel us to confront our flaws, develop new abilities, and build resilience. Think of hardship as a teacher. It might not be the kind of teacher you'd choose, but it's the one you need. It pushes you out of your comfort zone, tests your limits, and reveals your true character. Even the darkest nights will end and the sun will rise. When it does, you'll be stronger, wiser, and more capable than before. So what can you learn from hardship? Maybe you learn to be more patient when things don't go as planned. Maybe you learn to be more empathetic toward people who are hurting. Or maybe you simply learn to enjoy the simple joys in life that you formerly took for granted. Every adversity has a bright side if you're ready to look for it. For instance, a challenging breakup may teach you the value of independence and self-love, while a health issue may teach you to prioritize your health and appreciate each day. Seneca once said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." As a teacher, you may use struggle to turn adversity into opportunity and suffering into advancement. Number 7, the superpowers Stoic. Now let's talk about what I like to call the Stoic superpowers. These are the key principles that help Stoics embrace hardship and find inner peace. There are 4 main ones: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Let's dive into each one with some practical examples. Knowledge. Wisdom is about knowing what's truly important and making sensible decisions. Imagine you're facing a difficult financial situation. Wisdom helps you see the opportunities hidden within this challenge, like learning to budget more effectively or even starting a side business. Bravery. Acting in spite of fear is what courage is all about, not being fearless. Imagine a public speaker in front of a sizable crowd. Despite their nervousness, courage enables them to talk with confidence. It's about facing your fear and moving forward despite it. Fairness. If you're a manager having to make a difficult decision that impacts your team, justice guarantees that you treat everyone equally and kindly, especially during trying circumstances. Justice is about moral virtue and fairness. Temperance. Moderation and self-control are key components of temperance. Consider yourself on a diet and presented with a mouth-watering piece of cake. Even when temptation arises, temperance keeps you centered and enables you to make better decisions. Number 8, the 2 farmers story. Consider 2 farmers who share a village and are both suffering from a severe drought. The crops are withering, the land is dry, and the skies are clear. Despite being in the identical circumstance, the 2 farmers' reactions couldn't be more different. Let's begin with Fred, the first farmer. Fred shakes his fist at the sky and spends his days gazing at the cracked, dry soil. He feels like a victim of his circumstances and is upset and disappointed. "Why am I experiencing this?" he murmurs. "This is unfair. Everything would be all right if only it would rain." Fred spends his days moping and feeling hopeless. He loses sight of what he can control because he is so preoccupied with the weather, which is beyond his control. His fields are still empty. He is depressed and his future is uncertain. Let's now introduce Stan, the second farmer. The same drought is affecting Stan as well. The circumstance weighs heavily on him as well. Stan, however, takes a big breath and says, "This is hard, but I can't control the rain," rather than cursing the sky. What am I able to do? Stan starts to come up with original ideas. In order to maximize the little water that is available, he installs an irrigation system. In order to increase his crop's chances of survival, he plants drought-resistant cultivars. In spite of the difficult circumstances, he even launches a side business selling homemade jam, made from the fruits that survived. Stan openly embraces the drought's reality rather than ignoring it. However, he decides to concentrate on what he can manage rather than allowing it to paralyze him. He never stops working, adjusting to the situation and coming up with new strategies to succeed. Stan is taking initiative, strengthening his resilience and opening doors for himself, whereas Fred is caught in a vicious circle of powerlessness and rage. Now consider this. Who do you believe has a better chance of surviving and thriving in spite of the drought? Stan is the obvious response. Why? Because Stan is a living example of Stoicism. He doesn't deny or ignore the hardship. He accepts it and chooses how to respond. This tale of two farmers is a powerful metaphor for how we can approach challenges in our own lives. We all face droughts of one kind or another, times when things don't go as planned, when life feels unfair, or when we're confronted with obstacles that seem insurmountable. In those moments, we have a choice. We can be like Fred, consumed by frustration and helplessness, or we can be like Stan, focusing on what we can control and taking proactive steps to improve our situation. The Stoics would contend that while suffering is optional, adversity is unavoidable. Fred's suffering stems from his response to the drought rather than the drought itself. Fred puts himself in a vicious loop of negativity by rejecting reality and concentrating only on the things he cannot control. Stan, however, adopts a Stoic way of thinking. He accepts the reality of the drought, focuses on what he can manage, and takes action to better his situation. The core of Stoicism is this. It is not about escaping adversity or acting as though nothing is wrong. It's about accepting reality as it is and deciding how to respond. It's about realizing that although we have little influence over outside circumstances, we do have power over our attitudes, thoughts, and behaviors. So the next time you experience a drought in your own life, whether it's a personal setback, a professional obstacle, or a worldwide crisis, remember the tale of Fred and Stan. Ask yourself, am I focusing on what I can't control like Fred? Or like Stan, am I concentrating on what I can control? You have an option. Although you have no control over the rain, you do have some power over how you react to the drought. Even the most trying circumstances won't be able to stop you from succeeding if you decide to react with bravery, ingenuity, and fortitude. Number 9. Stoic activities for daily life. All right, let's get practical. How can you apply Stoicism to your everyday life? Here are a few exercises to get you started. The negative visualization game. This one might sound a bit morbid, but bear with me. Negative vision is about imagining the worst-case situation. For example, imagine losing your job or facing a financial crisis. This mental activity helps you appreciate what you have and prepares you mentally for any future difficulty. But here's the thing, you don't have to dwell on the negatives. Just recognize them and let them go. It's like practicing a fire drill. You hope it never happens, but you're prepared just in case. The 5-second rule. This one is simple but powerful. Whenever you experience a challenge, give yourself 5 seconds to acknowledge the emotion, whether it's rage, annoyance, or sadness. Then choose to respond with intelligence, courage, fairness, and temperance. It's like pushing the pause button before behaving impulsively. The practice of gratitude every day. A fundamental component of Stoicism is gratitude. Spend a few minutes every day thinking about your blessings. It may be as basic as a cozy bed, a delectable dinner, or a devoted family. Even during difficult times, this technique helps you keep your eyes on the bright side. Number 10. Stoicism for well-being and health. One of the most significant aspects of our life is our health, but we also frequently feel most vulnerable in this area. Health issues can test our fortitude and destabilize our sense of control, whether they are brought on by an unexpected illness, a chronic condition, or the aging process. However, Stoicism provides a potent foundation for overcoming these obstacles with courage, discernment, and tranquility. Let's investigate how Stoic concepts might help us approach health and well-being with insight and resilience. Accepting reality. The first step in applying Stoicism to health is acceptance. This doesn't imply giving up or surrendering yourself to suffering. It means acknowledging the truth of the circumstance so you can respond effectively. For example, imagine you've just received a devastating diagnosis. Your first reaction can be shock, fear, or even denial. After inhaling deeply, a Stoic might declare, "This is the reality I'm facing. Although I cannot alter the diagnosis, I can decide how to react to it." Acceptance permits you to go past obstacles and focus on what you can manage. It serves as the cornerstone for acting with purpose and finding calm in the face of uncertainty. Paying attention to what you can manage. Making the line between what we can control and what we cannot is one of the fundamental tenets of Stoicism. This idea is particularly significant when it comes to health, things beyond your control, the actual diagnosis or condition, the aging process that occurs naturally, the deeds or viewpoints of others such as family, friends, or physicians, what you are able to manage, your mindset and attitude, your dedication to adhering to a treatment regimen, your lifestyle decisions regarding sleep, exercise, and nutrition, your readiness to learn more about your illness and look for help. For instance, you have no control over how quickly your body heals after surgery, but you do have control over how well you adhere to your doctor's instructions, how you handle your pain, and how you have a positive attitude. You regain control and lessen helplessness by concentrating on the things you can influence, seeing adversity as a chance for development. According to Stoicism, adversity is a chance to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient rather than merely something to endure. This way of thinking is very helpful when dealing with health issues. For instance, you can learn the following from a challenging diagnosis or recovery process. Patience. It takes time to heal, and being able to wait gracefully is a useful ability. Resilience. Overcoming physical obstacles fortifies one's emotional and mental fortitude. Gratitude. Health issues frequently serve as a reminder to value life's little pleasures, such as a satisfying meal, a stroll through the outdoors, or quality time spent with loved ones. Taking care of oneself and being moderate. Stoicism places a strong emphasis on moderation and self-control, both of which are essential for preserving one's health and well-being. For instance, if you're in charge of a medical condition, you could temperance, refraining from excessive use of harmful substances, such as alcohol, tobacco, or excessive food consumption. Discipline, sticking to a treatment plan even when it's tough or inconvenient. Balance, finding a good balance between rest and activity, work and pleasure, and solitude and social connection. By practicing self-care and moderation, you take an active part in your health and well-being, aligning your activities with your long-term goals. Establishing a network of support. Being Stoic does not imply being alone. As a matter of fact, the Stoics valued connection and community. Having a solid support network is crucial while dealing with health issues. For instance, you could consult your loved ones, friends, or support groups for assistance. To develop a treatment plan, collaborate closely with medical professionals. Talk about your experiences and gain knowledge from those who have gone through similar struggles. We are members of one great body, planted by nature, Seneca wrote. You can overcome even the most difficult health obstacles if you build a sense of community and belonging by asking for and receiving assistance from others. Accepting the here and now. Stoicism encourages us to live in the now. This means that instead of worrying about the future or lingering on the past, you should concentrate on what you can do right now to enhance your health. For instance, if you're recuperating from a disease, you could concentrate on taking things one step at a time, whether that means eating a nutritious meal or going for a quick stroll. To stay centered and lower anxiety, engage in mindfulness exercises. Celebrating minor successes such as a pain-free day or a restful night's sleep. Remaining in the now lowers stress and fosters clarity and serenity, which benefits your general well-being. Number 11, stupidity in daily life. Stoicism is a useful manual for negotiating the highs and lows of daily life, not merely a philosophy for big life-changing events. Stoicism provides strategies to help us react calmly, clearly and resiliently to both small annoyances and significant obstacles. Let's examine how using Stoic ideals can change how we handle life's big and small events. The little things, misplacing your keys. Let's begin with a straightforward example, misplacing your keys. It's a minor yet annoying experience that nearly everyone has. You're already running late and hurrying out the door when all of a sudden you can't find your keys. Anger, impatience, or even panic may be your initial response. What would a Stoic do, though? A Stoic person would inhale deeply and remind himself of two fundamental ideas. Acceptance, the keys have been misplaced. Anger won't alter that reality. Accept things as they are rather than fighting against them. Pay attention to what you can manage. The fact that your keys are gone is beyond your control, but how you react to it is. Take a minute to look around, ask for assistance, or retrace your steps. By shifting your mindset, you turn a moment of frustration into an opportunity to practice patience and problem solving. You concentrate on coming up with a cool, practical answer rather than spending energy on rage. Although it's a minor example, it demonstrates how Stoicism can assist us in handling common irritations with poise and dignity. The significant events, relocating to a new city. Let's scale it up now. Imagine you're facing a major life change like moving to a new city. A new job, a new house, new people, and new routines make this a significant shift. The unknown can easily cause feelings of overload, worry, or even anxiety. A Stoic, however, would handle this circumstance in a different way. A Stoic might respond to it like this. Recognize the facts. They're moving. It's a major adjustment and it won't get any easier if you fight it. Instead, acknowledge the reality of the situation and prepare yourself mentally. Pay attention to what you can't manage. You can't control everything about the move, the unfamiliarity, the challenges of settling in, or how others will react. However, you are in charge of how you get ready, how you handle the change, and how you decide to interpret the event. Reframe the situation. Instead of viewing the move as a source of stress, see it as an opportunity for growth and new experiences. A new city brings fresh opportunity to meet people, experience new places, and learn new things. By adopting this mindset, you change a potentially unpleasant circumstance into a thrilling experience. You focus on the advantages, embrace the challenges, and approach the transition with curiosity and resilience. This is Stoicism in action, turning obstacles into opportunities and finding strength in the face of change. As we wrap up this exploration of Stoicism, remember that life's challenges, whether big or small, are not here to break you. They are here to shape you, to teach you, and to help you grow. Stoicism isn't about avoiding hardship. It's about embracing it with courage, wisdom, and resilience. It's about finding peace within yourself, no matter what storms rage outside. From the ancient wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus to the modern-day resilience of figures like James Stockdale and Nelson Mandela, Stoicism has proven time and again to be a powerful tool for navigating life's ups and downs. It's not just a philosophy, it's a way of living, a mindset that empowers you to turn obstacles into opportunities and adversity into strength. So the next time you face a challenge, whether it's losing your keys, navigating a career setback, or dealing with a health crisis, remember the Stoic principles we've discussed. Accept what you cannot control, focus on what you can, and choose to respond with virtue and grace. Use hardship as a teacher, and let it reveal your inner strength. Stoicism teaches us that true freedom and peace come from within. By embracing this ancient philosophy, you can build a life of meaning, purpose, and resilience, one that no external circumstance can shake. Thank you for joining me on this journey into Stoicism. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on living a meaningful and resilient life. And remember, the next time life throws a storm your way, you have the tools to not just survive, but thrive. Until next time, stay strong, stay wise, and embrace the Stoic way of life.